We're moving the motorhome to empty it all out. And before we do, we are going to tell you guys how we are becoming explorers and giving you guys some tips on how to become an explorer.
I think explorking is kind of far out there for most people because
No.
we're lucky because we have the blog,
Yeah.
Healthful Pursuit, and that kind of sustains us. And there's a lot of cost, but it does well. But other people don't have that, and
I think everyone has the opportunity to explore. I think you can turn anything into an online business, and even too, I just spoke with somebody and they both quit their jobs, and now whenever they need money, and this might not be your lifestyle, but whenever they need money, they just make a couple of trinkets and sell it at the market. And we'll get into further videos later on about how much it costs us to run this thing every month. But I can tell you it's nowhere near, at least the numbers I've been crunching, nowhere near what we're paying for the house, the 2 cars, and the property taxes and the insurance, and everything adds up. I calculated it out, it was about half. So whatever our cost is now, living in this full time will be half.
But exploring might not be the same thing, and I'm not sure if exploring is about the cost. But I think for some people, they're like, well, I don't want to be in a motorhome. I want to be flying from place to place and backpacking when I get there, or maybe not backpacking.
Yeah.
Right.
I guess exploring is any time that you're able to explore and work at the same time, maybe make money or help people or whatever the case may be for you. And also, your definition of exploring is going to be different, just like your definition of work is going to be different.
It's kind of like our life. It's different, and we just define it any way we want. It's the same thing. It's the same idea.
Yeah, totally.
So, and I think, let's say you're a computer programmer, or you already work on computers. For us, it's computers. There might be other ways to do this, but I know a lot of companies that only hire remote employees that don't work in an office. They don't have an office. And that's a perfect kind of setup to explore, right? You cut your costs, so you save even more money, and you get to drive around. You get to live in one of these if you want to. I mean, I'm sure you can, I'm sure there's other ways to do it. Yeah. Maybe you go from, Airbnb to Airbnb, or, I don't know, whatever that is, but I think if you're in a job like that already, and maybe your current employer doesn't allow you to work from home, maybe you find one that does, or maybe you have that discussion. I mean,
so if somebody has a job right now, and they want to explore, they could go to their boss and be like, hey, mind if I work from home 3 days out of the week, or 2 days out of the week, so they have a little bit more time to explore, or maybe every other week I work from home, so that you get a full, and there are a lot of companies that will do that, but someone like a teacher who they can't work from home, then it's how can I take the skills that I have of teaching people, of organization, of communication. I mean, hello, that's a virtual assistant, and virtual assistants can make a good living if they're good at what they do, and although it might not be teaching, you're getting to use your same skills. So I think also you kind of have to think out of the box of, what do I do now, and how can that cross with an online position of some sort?
Never define yourself to a box. The whole, hey, I went to university to become a biologist, and now I'm a biologist for the rest of my life, and I teach biology and it's all I do, and I don't think that really, I don't think you need to be in that box. If you want to be in the box, I think people can be if they're happy with. It's not even a box for them then, right? Because they're not constrained; they're just happy.
But I think for us, it was
it's not trapped, but it's hey, we want to do something else, and we'd
something.
Yeah, so be more empowered. And I think what you're kind of talking about in a way is freelancing, and there's all sorts of different ways to become a freelancer, like a personal assistant or a virtual personal assistant. Was it?
Virtual assistant.
Virtual assistant, same thing. No. Or computer development, software development, design, graphic design work, copywriting, script writing for videos, so maybe a really good writer, good with words. And I think that kind of spills in, once you build that skill set up, you have income. I think it's also, maybe you can create your own passive income business out of it.
Totally. At first, it's really scary to start a business and then be like, come to me. But if you go to a place like Upwork or Freelancer and you just go on there and you find other clients, you're kind of, they're responsible for the end of the day. And you don't have to put on as much responsibility and you can kind of get a taste. I mean, we've worked with people that do the part-time gig online thing on the weekends and evenings just to see how it works, to build up a client base. And then when they feel comfortable, then they switch over to taking on more clients. And then later saying, I have enough clients, I don't need this Upwork thing anymore. And we'll include links below to some of our favorite places where you can go to check out online jobs. And then they say, I'm just going to set up a website, get a form. People are going to contact me about being their person.
Whatever that is, yeah. And I think, like with Healthful Pursuit, the entire team, all the awesome people that help us, they don't work out of an office. They work from home, mostly on their own time. They work really hard, but it's kind of freeing.
Yeah.
We're on Slack. It's like a communication tool together when we're online, when we work on stuff. So that's kind of how we keep up communication on top of email. But, I mean, that's a good example. And there's a lot of businesses like ours that are,
so many.
Yeah. So.
So many. If you have a favorite blog, chances are they need a virtual assistant. And you could email them and be like, yo, I'm awesome. I know your stuff. Let me work for you.
And it's just trying.
Yeah.
They can always say no. Then let them say no.
What's the worst thing that can happen? They say no. Okay, cool. I think also it's like baby steps. I think if I were to think of what we're doing right now, like 5 years ago, I'd be freaking out. I mean, 5 years ago this summer, I quit my full-time job. And that was like, could you imagine going from quitting the full-time job to starting a business to getting the first RV to selling the house to moving into the RV? Like, there are a lot of steps involved, and I think a lot of times people get really overwhelmed with like this huge project. I mean, even with us now going from the house to this has been a huge project, and piece by piece we've been putting it all together. And I think it's the same way with becoming an explorker. And explorking, like we talked about, explorking can be all different sorts of things for different people. So exploring can look different. It can be in an RV, in a boat, in hotels, at KOAs, like whatever. And then the work can also be different.
And I think for us, it was never really about, I think, at least for me, when I was younger, it was all about making money and having a lot of money. But that's not really what I like. What I like is independence and not having to worry about things. And those are two different things.
Yeah.
Because, like, I don't need a private jet. I don't want a private jet. Even if you were to give me one, I wouldn't want one. But trying to actually figure out what you want in life, like what you actually want. Everybody wants $1 million or millions of dollars or win the lottery or whatever that is. But what we want is we wanted a really nice home. We like the modern style. That's why we're changing all of this, right? And it's going to be a really nice place to be. I mean, right now it's like brown tones and whatnot and like looks oldish. I mean, it's in 2004 motorhome. It's not new, but it's going to look really bright in a few days and really nice. So I think it's just really understanding what you want and then doing that, as opposed to being like, no, I gotta be in my corporate job, I gotta climb the ladder to get then what kind of raise are you gonna get? Like a 10% raise?
So
or
that when you're
15?
70, you can finally retire, and then you're too old to do the things you want to do, and your body gives out on you before you get to experience it.
I guess maybe there's some jobs where like maybe somebody really loves their job and they're totally happy with it. Then it doesn't matter as long as you're happy. But I think it's just that work-life balance is really important, and being happy is important. And I think that's what explorking is all about.
Yeah. And I think for me, what motivates me and what gets me really excited is, as a kid, I was always told by teachers and just our situation of like, you work, you get paid, you go home, you get married, you make babies, like, and you work and you work and you work. And I think what I love most about exploring is that I'm breaking every single rule that I've been told is what you should do. And that's why when I'm sitting there typing away and I see PayPal pop up and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm helping people, I'm breaking the rules, I'm making money, I'm not at home, I don't have a boss, like all these things start happening, and that's what gets me really, really excited about exploring and more delving deep into how we're doing this, why we're doing this, how you can do it, tips and tools that we learn along the way, because, I mean, this time next year, we're going to have learned a lot, and we really want to take you guys along for the ride.
Well, and share what we already learned over the last, 8 years.
Yeah.
And what we are going to learn, and kind of like give all of that to you, So maybe that journey, if you want to do something similar, isn't as scary, as foreign as as scary, because it is scary. Like, okay, I'm gonna sell everything, I'm gonna quit my job, I'm gonna buy a motorhome and drive around. Well, that's not realistic. It's about that step process and understanding it and getting comfortable with it.
Yeah. So, more to come from us.
Yep, indeed. Sorry.
Why? Sorry.
So you're gonna have to watch more of these videos. And also, like, this clamp is probably in the way.
Yeah, well, we're renovating an RV. What do you expect? Oh, yeah, it might look like you're clamped. Help me! Help me!
The clamp.
Yeah, we're good.